Once upon a time, deep in the heart of a vibrant and colorful African forest, I met the cleverest and perhaps the cheekiest tortoise you could ever imagine. The trees stretched high above, their leaves whispering secrets, and the air was alive with the songs of birds and the rustle of small creatures. It was a place where magic seemed possible, and every day brought a new adventure. This tortoise was no ordinary fellow. He had a shiny round shell that gleamed in the sunlight, big twinkly eyes that sparkled with curiosity, and a mischievous grin that always meant he was up to something. He loved to dream big and was always thinking of clever ways to make his dreams come true, even if it meant a little bit of mischief along the way. One sunny morning, as golden rays danced through the leaves, Tortoise waddled up to a flock of birds bursting with feathers, red, blue, yellow, and green, each one brighter than the rainbow. The birds were chattering and preening, their wings shimmering in the light, and Tortoise watched them with wide-eyed wonder, wishing he could join them in the sky. "Oh, dear friends," he pleaded, "can't you lend me some feathers? I've always dreamed of flying." His voice was full of hope, and his eyes sparkled with excitement as he imagined soaring above the treetops, feeling the wind rush past his shell. The birds fluffed and huddled, their feathers rustling as they whispered to each other. After a moment, they chirped, "All right, we'll each give you a feather." They were kind and generous, always ready to help a friend chase a dream, even if it seemed impossible. Soon, Tortoise was covered in a dazzling new coat of feathers, each one a gift from a different bird. He looked magnificent, like a walking rainbow. With a little help, he flapped his new wings and, to everyone's amazement, joined the birds as they soared high up and away, higher than the tallest tree, higher than the clouds. The world below grew smaller and smaller as they climbed into the sky. The forest faded below, and together they twirled and looped, laughing in the sky, their voices echoing through the clouds. The air was cool and crisp, and the view was breathtaking. Suddenly, whoosh! They reached a magical kingdom floating among the clouds, where everything sparkled and shimmered like a dream. Now, before the grand feast began, Tortoise had a sneaky idea. "Let's give ourselves fancy new names for the sky people," he suggested, his eyes glinting with mischief. He wanted to make sure he stood out and maybe, just maybe, get a little extra at the feast. The birds giggled and chirped, picking names like Rainbow, Sunshine, and Song. Each name was as bright and cheerful as the birds themselves, and they laughed as they tried out their new names, fluttering around in excitement. But Tortoise, with a sly wink and a clever grin, chose the name All of You. He thought he was being very smart, and he could hardly wait to see what would happen next. The sky people welcomed them warmly, setting sparkling tables with the most delicious food you could imagine, sweet golden fruits, crispy nuts, and rivers of honey. The aroma filled the air, making everyone's mouth water, and the tables seemed to stretch on forever, piled high with treats. When the sky people called out, "All of you, come eat!" guess who waddled up first and gobbled up every treat? Tortoise, of course. He marched right up, his new name giving him the right to eat before anyone else. And he didn't leave a single crumb for the others. That's right, Tortoise. He ate and ate, stuffing himself with fruits and honey while the birds watched, shocked, hungry, and a little bit hurt. They couldn't believe their friend would trick them like this, and their feathers drooped with disappointment. Furious, the birds decided they'd had enough. They took back their feathers, one by one, and zipped away, leaving Tortoise stranded in the sky, with nothing but his own shell and a very full belly. He was stuck. The clouds were soft, but there was no way down. So he called down to his gentle wife on the ground, asking her to lay out something soft for his landing. a big pile of leaves or grass perhaps. But she misunderstood his call, and instead of something soft, she laid out hard objects, stones and sticks, right where he would land. Poor Tortoise looked down and gulped, realizing his mistake too late. Down he tumbled, splat, and his shell cracked with a cartoonish crack. The sound echoed through the forest, and all the animals peeked out to see what had happened. Back on Earth, Tortoise's shell was patched by his loving wife, but he was a little sad, and a whole lot wiser. He realized that his clever trick had cost him his friends and left him with a broken shell. He had learned the hard way that greed and tricks can break friendships, and that being clever isn't always the same as being kind. He spent many days thinking about what he had done, wishing he could make things right. So, my little friends, always remember, be wise, be kind, and share with those around you. True happiness comes from friendship and generosity, not from tricks or greed. The end. Moral: greed and tricks can break friendships. Be wise and kind. And remember, every day is a chance to choose kindness and make the world a little brighter.